Alright guys, welcome back. Emergency meeting, guys. We have the new banlist announcement here. It comes on June 1st, which is a bit strange since normally the new banlist comes with the new pack, but June 1st will not be the new, at least, selection pack. But we will probably see something along the lines of new reprint packs that I talked about in the leaks yesterday. If you have not seen that video, go check that out. So new basically reprint packs, also new alternative artwork packs. This is what is coming probably within the next few weeks. So this might coincide with the June 1st thingy here. Otherwise, I think the new pack will be June 8th or something. So previous ban list, we have a new ban list here. Cards to be unlimited. Sprite Blue is going back from 2 to 3. Definitely like this. Definitely think it's time to release Sprite from their prison. They have done nothing wrong at this point, at least. Sprite will not really emerge again as a power, at least not for now. We would need more support in the future in order to have them back online in the TCG. I think it's still at 3. It does not really change anything, so I am definitely happy. And this is what I talked about in my prediction when I talked about Kashtira Fenrir, Kashtira Unicorn. I think that a lot of cards are coming back. Obviously, this is not Kashtira Fenrir, this is neither Kashtira Unicorn, but Sprite came out close to the same time that these two cards came out. We have Nadir Servant going from 2 to 3. Also, this is kind of nice, not super impactful. You might want to play this thrice in a branded Despia, but maybe also not. But yeah, it's nice. Nadir Servant, definitely a card that I think is very strong, but not so strong that it needs to be a 2 or something, that it needs any limitations. So I can definitely, put myself behind this change. We have a Nimble Beaver. This was at 1, going from 1 to 3. Okay, we are basically unbanning the entire Sprite line. We had the Frogs back, we have the Nimble Beaver back, and I don't know, it's with Sprite Blue coming back to 3 and also Nimble Beaver going back to 3. We might once again be able to play a Sprite at a good point. This will not be like a tier 0, tier 1 meta contender, but could definitely be a good deck, or at least a solid rogue option, depending on what else we might see on this list. But I like this clean up duty, because one Nimble Beaver obviously is not that great. You could summon another Nimble monster, but now with the Beavers once again live, this is nice. Then we have Sprite Jet going from 2 to 3, so the Sprite's coming back. This is also nice. It's only a super rare as well as the Beaver, so we can just craft it again, which is super nice. Sprite Jet from 2 to 3, and I'm not quite sure. I think a Sprite starter is still at 1 or 2, I think at 2, so we might also see a starter coming back to 2. And then we have cards to be semi-limited. Maiden of White. I just talked about this. I just talked about the possibility of what could happen when a Blue Eyes hit happens. I have definitely not expected a Blue Eyes hit, but here it is. Maiden of White going from 3 to 2, and this is the most obvious candidate. I talked about this in the prediction video. The other one would have been Wishes for Eyes of Blue, but Wishes for Eyes of Blue 2/2 would definitely not really change anything. Maiden of White 2/2 definitely does. To 1 would have been even more impactful. This means you will open this hard less often, means less consistency for the deck, also means that you have to protect your maidens better, because if they get removed via Bystials or something, then it's bad, because then you can't bring them back every turn by bringing a Blue Eyes White Dragon back. Once again, this going to 1 I think would have been very impactful. Going to 2, this is definitely a hit for the deck, but then again also not like the toughest one that we could have gotten here. Also it's an ultra rare, which is nice. Most people or everyone playing the Blue Eyes deck definitely had this at 3, so you're getting your ultra rare crafting points back. So once again a bigger list, it seems, which I kind of like. Branded Fusion is coming back to 2. What the heck? Okay, crazy. So a lot of branded unhits. Basically we have the Aluba back, we have branded opening back, now we get Branded Fusion back at 2, which is huge, because this means we will open this hard more often than before. Basically very nice. Nadir Servant we also play in blue in Branded Esper, for example. Not quite sure why we are doing this, because I think Branded is actually at a good point at the moment and will even become better in the future also. If we go into the Ryziel format, Branded will be kind of nice, since Ryziel destroys a lot of stuff, and destroying cards or monsters is not that impactful against Branded, because they just, for example, if they go for an Albion or Lubelion and you destroy them, then they can just fuse from the graveyard, fuse from the banishment, so it doesn't really matter at all. So yeah, destroying Branded stuff, you destroy the Mirror Jade, he destroys your entire board, isn't that great. So we will have to see. I think Branded can be very good meta contender, and I in one of the recent videos where I talked about the best investments in decks for the future. I talked about Branded being very good, and this obviously makes it way better. Unfortunately, I only have one Branded Fusion, so you might want to get another Branded Fusion, which honestly, let me know in the comments, is one of the coolest cards that I have ever seen in terms of how they look. Honestly, we have Sage with Eyes of Blue going to 2. This is crazy. This is so crazy. This I wouldn't have thought this would happen, but this obviously makes sense. I didn't think about the Sage going to 2, but this makes sense. This obviously, once again, together with the Maiden of White, makes this just less consistent. And this is just because everyone is playing Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes is so popular and has a good win rate. We have watched this or looked at this over on Untapped. Sage with Eyes of Blue going from 3 to 2, making it less consistent. You obviously still can find it with now I'm blanking on the name, Wishes for Eyes of Blue. And at some point, obviously, these will return to baseline. But this is also the first format where Blue Eyes has received a hit, but this is also the first format where Blue Eyes was the most dominant deck for quite a long time. So we are talking Blue Eyes Primate. Obviously, my USB is freaking out. Let's pull it out. But yeah, Sage with Eyes of Blue, definitely 2 impactful hits for the deck. Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get the Wishes for Eyes of Blue, the hit on this, because this would have given us another ultra rare, but it is what it is. It's still fine. And then we have cards to be limited. Bonfire is going from 2 to 1. This I predicted in the prediction video. And this I predicted because of Ryziel. So this is another. So I talked about this being the most obvious hit for Ryziel and Snake Eyes, because this reduces the consistency of Snake Eyes, but will also hit Ryziel and will also force us to use 7th Techie on the new ultra rare XYZ searcher for Ryziel, which we will definitely play as a 3-off in the deck. So Bonfire going from 2 to 1. I like it because, once again, this is an ultra rare that I now can decraft and get my ultra rare crafting points back. This was obvious, and now I'm pretty sure we get the Ryziel stuff within the next pack. We have original Sympho Spoils going from 3 to 1. I mean, I have 2 of them, so I can decraft 1, but obviously this is a no-brainer hit here. This doesn't change anything. There is, I think, no single deck that runs 2 of this. Yeah, this needs to be either forbidden or be at 3. It doesn't really make a difference. Some decks were, if they, but I guess maybe because there's only 1 Bonfire left, you might have wanted to play another OSS. It depends. But this is obviously not a really impactful hit. I think the Bonfire one is the way more impactful one. We can scroll down. I think this is okay. This is an impactful Banlist for sure. Brings Sprite back to the top. Brings Branded Despia back in a big fashion. Honestly, some very some very sorry guys. Some very impactful hits. This was a very spontaneous video. Some very impactful hits on the Blue Eye stuff, and then also for Snake Eyes. So I definitely like this list. I was either predicting a list that doesn't change anything or one of the bigger lists, and this is definitely a bigger list. This will change up the meta together with probably, hopefully, Ryziel coming, Bonfire to 1, Ryziel, question mark. But yeah, now I'm very interested in your opinion. Let me know what you think of this ban list. It's obviously better than the last one with the Solemn Judgment. The Solemn Judgment one was just bad. But yeah, I really like this list. Let me know in the comments what you think, and we will see each other in the next one.